27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Quick flag.
That's a way. Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down. He scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. But a downfield, they won't get him. Wow!
Edwards pulls up and buries a flag.
Shot for Darby!
What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? How are we doing today? Oh, can't see me. Well, now you can kind of see me. A little better there. We are live, and we are rocking. Welcome into Tuesday's edition of Pitchfork Lunch. Again, Taco Tuesday, weekly Taco Tuesday. And again, I always say make them a little spicy. Hey, we're going to have a little fun, little spice of this. We have an awesome guest coming up at 12:30. That would be Keith Abney Jr., Keith Abney II. Yes, the starting corner for your Arizona State Sun Devils, as you guys all know, one of the starting corners, and he will be joining us at 12:30. Obviously, FanFest was Keith Abney Jr. is joining us, but they wrapped up spring ball, yes, with FanFest on Friday. Also, we'll be hearing from Graham Rossini shortly. He spoke before that on a multitude of topics. Obviously, the ruling from the House coming down, the roster limits, and scholarships, and what it means for other sports across the board at ASU. So that being said, my friends, and yes, you see the Sun Devil softball shirt, forks up. As as you guys know. But yeah, so FanFest wrapped up. We'll from Graham Rossini, multitude of topics on that too. But anyway, I am Michael Caraccinuto at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter, as you guys all so wonderfully know. I don't know why it's dark. Why I'm like, that better? We'll get it right. Anyway, at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. Check out Pitchfork Lunch Live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, yes, I know I remind you daily, but you can also check it out on the wonderful, on my wonderful IG at michael.caraccinuto.5. Yes, it is there. Also, YouTube, guys, go to YouTube, watch it live, but subscribe to the YouTube channel. As again, you can make it very, you have to catch up on a lot. You can binge watch, but go to YouTube and you can watch live, but then subscribe to the channel as well. You see, my name is Michael Caraccinuto, but the channel page is at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, as in multiple Big 12 champs in their first year in the Big 12 for ASU. At MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe, guys, because it is just absolutely awesome. Again, you can binge watch season 1. If you watch season 1 or you missed a few, but binge watch season 1. And then after that, whatever you haven't seen from season 2, you can binge watch. And then by the time season 3 starts, again, we'll be doing some stuff up from Camp T, have some, bonus shows. We'll get like a running start into season 3. As we just keep growing. But yes, that is again very awesome. So YouTube, you can catch up. And again, you've missed a ton of con reviews, whether it's been with coaches, players, voices, analysts, alum, everybody jumping on into Pitchfork Lunch as we grow and grow and grow. And we want to, again, you can catch it all. Go to YouTube. Again, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. As we go forward from there. So yes, and also for those watching, you do know that you can listen to Pitchfork Lunch on the greatest internet radio station on the web, the Casual Sports Radio Network. Guys, all you got to do is go to www.ksrnaz.com. Page will open up, click listen live, hit play, bam, Monday through Friday, Pitchfork Lunch, 12 to 1. There you are. And Casual E, again, invited us in to be part of the family. As I say, always so stoked about that. But when you're there, follow their socials as well, too, because when you're following their socials, guess what? He's got the inside scoop on the Cardinals, the Suns, the D-backs, the Mercury, all there for you. And, of course, our Forks Up Sun Devil content. So, that being said, oh, there we go. That's better. That being said, well, it's a little bit better. But anyway, yes, so he's got you covered, and you want to be in the know and with all those sports, and now Pitchfork Lunch content on there. Absolutely phenomenal place to be, the Casual Sports Radio Network. And again, you go to www.ksrnaz.com. Page will open up. Click listen live, hit play. There we go. And also, guys, the cool thing is you're driving. I want you to watch, but don't watch and drives. You're devils. You're smart. I tell you this all the time. Pay attention to concentrate on the road. Stream it through your Bluetooth. You're going to eat, Taco Tuesdays, have some tacos with your friends on your lunch break. You can listen when you get there. You can still listen, or you can watch on the other avenues. It's all here for you. Yeah, so stoked to be a part of the Casual Sports Radio Network family. So again, www.ksrnaz.com. Click listen live, and then hit play, and there you go. Hey, anything going on Sun Devil Country? Yes, you know it. Baseball is starting. They have their midweek series starting today. Well, tonight and tomorrow night. I shouldn't say it's not day games. after coming off the beautiful sweep of BYU. They are 14-7 in conference play, as you know, 28-16 overall for Coach Bloomquist, 21-8 at home, phenomenal, and 7-8 away. Again, got to get above 500, but 7-8 away right now. And yes, they have Long Beach State tonight at 6:30, tomorrow night at 6:30. Where are you guys going tonight, tomorrow night at 6:30? Hey, Phoenix Municipal Stadium. Just a thought. As the Devils do take on Long Beach State, as I have in years past before. And Long Beach State, 16-24 right now. They are 10-14 in their conference play. And 8-14 at home, 5-9 away. Again, just like BYU is kind of flirting overall around 500, but not good on the road. Well, you need to make sure they stay not good on the road. Yes, and they are in the Big West. I'm sorry, as the conference, like everybody, and a lot of you might know if you didn't. Again, I'm not talking down to you, but yes, Long Beach State in the Big West, and yes, taking on ASU. Cal State Northridge, they have who's in the Big West as well. Long Beach State has taken them on, and they lost 2 out of 3. Although the last one they played Sunday, it was 13-12 in 11 innings. So a little fun there in some Big West. But they both played Cal State Northridge. They both lost to USC. Both played Cal State Fullerton. Nope. UCLA also. They lost UCLA 12-1. ASU obviously split that midweeker with UCLA. LMU, Cal Poly, Pepperdine, Irvine, Tulane. And Utah. They lost to Utah 9-1. Did Long Beach State. So yes, quite a few common opponents, but 16-24, like I said, overall for Long Beach State, who's in the Big West, and they are taking on our Devils tonight at Phoenix Muni. So again, that'll be very, very awesome to see. Women's tennis. Wow, forks up to women's tennis. I know I've talked a little bit about them. Not enough though. They are going to the tournament for the 37th straight year. They are in. Coach Jackson in her first year taking over for the legend, Coach McInerney. 40 years for Coach McInerney coaching women's tennis at ASU. So again, very, 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 very awesome. So congrats to women's tennis as, again, they are in the postseason. And at the end of news and notes, I'm going to hit men's and women's golf too to let you know where they're at as regionals coming up for women, and it's out in Gold Canyon. I want to say, don't quote me. I'm pretty sure it is Gold Canyon, but we'll go from there. Yes. So also men's and women's golf, track and field, like they're in Texas this weekend. Water polo, they had a tough finish to the season. Women's beach volleyball, again, we'll get to all that news and notes. So we're going to step aside real quick. When I get back, we are going to hear from Graham Rossini from Friday night. So quick break here on Pitchfork Lunch. And again, Keith Abney Jr. joining us at 12:30, guys. So again, you're watching, let your friends know. But again, we're going to have some fun with this very, very talented Sun Devil running back. Well, maybe he probably could play running back, but defensive back corner. We love him there. And we'll talk about the deep defense again, his off season, being an honors student in the Barrett College. Yes, football players, athletes are smart, guys. Just remember that old moniker of dumb jocks does not apply here. So we'll step aside and we'll hear from Graham Rossini on the other side here on Pitchfork Lunch.
KSRN has an inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
Are you good?
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean Conn.
Bird Gang, I know it's another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending the message out to the world.
Always relaying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young...
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
Yes, that's a little bit. That's a lot better. So for those of you listening on the Castle Sports Radio Network, yes, it is the best internet radio station on the web. I am Michael Caracinito at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter, as you guys all know. See show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also see Pitchfork Lunch on my IG, Michael.Caracinito.5, YouTube at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005, and on Castle Sports Radio Network. All right, I said we're going to hear from Graham Rossini. Let's get right to it. We got Keith Abney coming up in a little bit, but let's get to Graham Rossini. He spoke Friday before the spring game, FanFest/spring game got going on for the Sun Devils. Array of topics. So without further ado, here is Sun Devil Athletic Director Graham Rossini.
Get ready when we get to that, hopefully next week.
What do you think of applause about the roster limits not being established yet in that focus?
Yeah, we're anxious to see what those conversations look like. I think it's more important to get it right than it is to get it done, and it seems like we're very close to that. So we've stayed close to the conference office, the joint defense group, and so we're anxious for resolution, but we do believe that we're close to an outcome that's good for everybody.
So that initial number 105 scholarship for football, do you feel like it's going to change when it's all said and done?
We'll have to better understand what are they grandfathering in, what is the solve. One thing we've always been prepared to do is that any athlete that got affected by a roster cut, we were going to honor their financial aid commitment no matter what. So that may be something that becomes more the mainstream solve for what's happening national, but we've always been prepared that if somebody lost a roster spot, many of our sports have gotten smaller, that we were going to honor whatever original commitment they came here on.
Give any update on the DFA renovations?
Yeah, lots of exciting conversations going on at DFA. I think we're still tracking towards a summer announcement on a multi-year phased renovation that creates a great campus college basketball game.
What's it like to see the football program in the state it is now compared to what it was a year ago?
It's awesome. I mean, we're here tonight, FanFest. We're trying a new concept. There were people lined up to get commemorative Coke bottles celebrating the Big 12 championship. We've got face painting, we've got donors upstairs, we've got elected officials. Really something for everybody here tonight, and a great football team. You know, we were undefeated at home last year. This fan base is energized. We have over 6,000 new season ticket holders. This event was largely designed to welcome these season ticket holders to the Sun Devil family and make sure they understand the amenities that are here at the stadium, the kind of game day experience that we want to create. And oh, by the way, we have a pretty dang good football team as well.
Graham, with the decision too, I mean, I know with like 105 scholarships or whatever it might be, but with taking away the walk-ons, even with the 105, do you feel that you see there's a way to maybe like have walk-on tryouts?
Well, we're offering, or we're adding over 225 scholarships across the department. You know, baseball is going to be on a full 34. We announced that before the baseball season. Hockey, softball, volleyball will be on full scholarships as well. It's at our coach's discretion. They have the ability to award these scholarships. They don't have to. So if there's a situation where they want a young athlete on as a walk-on, that's still going to be a concept that could exist. Somebody could grow into a partial scholarship. That partial scholarship could grow into a full scholarship. And so in the new environment moving forward, we have great flexibility on how we're doing it. Point being, we want to resource all of our programs to win at a high level. You're seeing a lot of schools that are picking a couple sports that they're adding scholarships to, and sometimes at the expense of other sports. We want to invest heavily in football and basketball. We need to do that to be successful, but we want all 26 to have a chance to be successful at a high level. And I think that's going to be harder and harder for most departments to do. It's a huge credit to Dr. Crow and the investment that the university's made into athletics, and we talked about it about a year ago, the new model of their students before their student athletes, and I haven't heard of many other schools that are adding 225 scholarships to what an athletic department can offer. It's a commitment that we want college athletics to be very successful at ASU. We want to recruit at a high level of student and athlete, and we want all 26 programs to have a chance to be a success.
When you have something like that affects so many people, it's changing so much. Like, what's the preparation like where it feels like things kind of flip on their head?
It's a credit to the team in athletics. We've got about 300 people in this department. You know, we're in front of the mics a lot. Our coaches are. I'm happy to speak on behalf of the department. A lot of people working very hard to navigate the change in our environment, the change in our rules, the increased focus on our fans, the increased focus on our game day. We're recruiting at a high level. I'm just proud to go to work with people here in athletics. And we are in unprecedented times, but what an exciting opportunity for us to figure out our voice in this moving forward. I've said this a lot publicly. I don't think there's ever been a better time in the history of college sports to be a Research One university, a metropolitan area, and a powerful athletic department, because we have access to everything. We have access to a fan base, we have access to corporations and community leaders and heads of business, we have access to scale, we have access to people that we can bring in as the next generation of Sun Devil fans, and the combination of that is very powerful this time moving forward. So rules are changing. It seems like every day there's a new injunction or a new NCAA statement that's coming out regarding the environment. We're ready as it comes, and we can't wait to navigate the new environment that comes next.
Is there any influence you guys can have on how the case is finalized?
I'd say it's out of our hands at an institutional level. We're lucky that the Big 12 has an incredible team that's been contributing with the other Power 4 conferences, and the NCAA is part of this joint defense group. Tremendous support from Commissioner Yormark and the team of the Big 12. So we're in constant conversation as one of the 16 institutions working with the Big 12, but the Big 12 will take that message forward into those conversations.
With everything being so fluid, how much of it is just, learning on the fly and adapting to every single conversation and statement?
Yeah, I think we're all in a constant ready position, and just staying agile and having convictions on what we want to accomplish here, but being mindful that we need to be fluid, we need to be adaptable in the environment that we're navigating, because it's unprecedented. Nobody's lived this iteration of college sports, and I think one of the attributes that's allowed us to have success this year in athletics is that we're in uncharted waters. So it's less about how it's always been done in the past. It's more about where we need to be resourced and prepared and ready moving forward. And people still love Sparky, so you can't. Yeah, Sparky always gets a reaction, so that's good to see.
What they were able to do last season, the expectations have been raised. But what would you like to tell them as they carry the torch for Sun Devil football?
Great job.
Making college cost less. Is that something you think could help across the board, not just in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, think about a full scholarship at a university covers tuition, fees, and books, living expenses, housing, some additional money that they can use to make investments and navigate life in a metropolitan area. And so again, for forever, I like to use baseball as an example. Since 1991, they've had 11.7 scholarships to spread across 40 people. That means everybody on a baseball roster has had to come out of pocket to go represent a university. A lot of times when they're taking out loans or debt in order to represent a university, we need to be making that commitment to our athletes and their families. And so for baseball to be at 34 scholarships, for softball to be fully funded in the mid-20s, hockey in the high 20s, volleyball in the high teens, in addition to men's and women's basketball, football, etc. I think it's a significant statement that we want to resource our teams to compete and recruit at the highest level possible. And when you can go to a family and say, you're getting elite education, elite coaching, and we're investing in your young son or daughter in order to do that, pretty amazing commitment, and we're excited to be making that available.
It's a pretty strong Olympic sports. What kind of impact do you think how someone's going to have an Olympic sports to you guys?
It's going to be really interesting to follow. You've already seen UTEP discontinued women's tennis a couple weeks ago. Cal Poly's eliminated swimming. I sadly think you're going to see more of that happen at Olympic sport. And again, to the spirit of we're adding 225 scholarships, we're trying to go the opposite direction. Probably hasn't been since after World War II, where the land-grant schools made this investment into collegiate athletics, and there's been this kind of a seismic shift into the landscape in college sports. We think this is another iteration. We're having a lot of success in our Olympic sports. And so if this is a moment to resource, to get them ahead and stay ahead, we want to be prepared to do that. We had a heartbreaker earlier today. Beach volleyball took TCU to a fifth set overtime heartbreaker for what would have been our fifth Big 12 championship. It's important that beach volleyball is resourced and successful at ASU. This is a sport that's, gaining Olympic momentum. We have the Olympics in LA in 2028. Swim and dive and what we did in Paris, what we've done as a national champion program, winning the Big 12. It matters to our institution. We're a global brand as ASU, and that's why golf and triathlon, lacrosse, and beach volleyball, and ice hockey have a really significant place in this university setting. If we're going to do it, we want to do it at a high level, and we want to have success.
Obviously, did you learn anything logistically from travels for football and basketball last year that are going to lead to changes next year?
I'm glad that we're not in the ACC or the Big Ten, and we've talked to a lot of our Pac-12 counterparts about their life in year one, and the Big 12 is by far the best conference for us to be traveling in. And think about, we always get the benefit of time zone coming back home. So I don't remember a game that we got back after 11:30 after a road game. Think about some of the other schools that are going west to east and then back home, and then having to wake up on a Sunday, lose an off day. Now they're into the practice week. This is a really good fit for us as a national footprint. The travel's been great. It was easier to get in and out of Lubbock than it was to go to the Bay Area and play Cal or Stanford. We're in great markets. We're in important markets. Having 4 schools in Texas has been really, really important for us. Central Florida and Florida gives us access to kids in the southeast, which is really, really important. Cincinnati and Iowa State have opened up corridors on the East Coast, West Virginia as well. So year one of the Big 12 has been awesome. We've been proud to join it. It's been a really good experience for our coaches and athletes moving forward, and particularly because we can maintain that connection to California. We see a lot of our sports keep playing. USC, UCLA, we're trying to get in the Bay Area schools. We've had Oregon State in a number of our sports schedule. We want to maintain our presence on the West Coast. We really want to sink our teeth into Texas and Florida in all the ways that we can.
And there was Graham Rossini right there talking about expanding scholarships in all sports. Again, absolutely phenomenal. And it has been a hell of a year. 4 Big 12 titles, championships so far, like you said. 1 from football. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, guys, I told you he got picked on a little bit last year. And his teammates, I should rephrase. They tried to pick on him last year. Not too much success. Keith Abney will be joining us. We'll take a quick break here on Pitchfork Lunch and have more coming right up with Keith Abney on the other side.
Audio Jungle.
topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird Gang, I know it's another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly. Don't be dumb.
Sending the message out to the world.
Always laying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
Yes, for those listening on the Casual Sports Radio Network, it is the best internet radio station on the web. I'm Michael Caracino at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. See this show, Pitchfork Lunch, live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. My IG, Michael.Caracino.5, YouTube at MVC005, and, of course, on the Casual Sports Radio Network. But let's get right to it, man. I am so stoked finally get to catch up with this very smart and talented guy who has been crushing records since 7th grade, maybe even before, but the earliest I could pull up was in 7th grade. When he hit the 300 meters. Keith Abney, the second, joining us. Keith, was that the 300-meter hurdles that you crushed that in?
Nah, it was actually in skating. It was just a 300-meter, just a race, 300-meter race.
Nice. Man, man, already getting the attention in 7th grade. But, hey, man, thanks so much for jumping in. It's always, like I said, great to see you out at practice. Now, let's get right to it. I mean, obviously last year, I know Coach Dillingham, and talking to a few of you guys out at practice, everybody was pretty sick of hearing "We Are the Champions" the first 3 days of practice. And I don't know if I ever want to hear that song again, even though I had nothing against it, but I really don't know if I want to hear it again. But I mean, when you look at last year, I mean, obviously coming in the season before, a 3-9 record, but man, there's talent there. There's a group there. You guys stuck together. As you're going through the season last year, what was it just like for you to see the growth? I mean, for you personally, but just as your team for your team in general.
Yeah, I feel like the growth last year was good seeing the growth, just like us attacking every week. Like we took everything like just one day at a time, one step at a time. So like as the season went on, even just like started with Camp T, like you could just feel like the team just getting. I feel like we just grew like closer and closer. Like every day, I feel like the team just got closer and closer and just built chemistry. And I feel like that played a big part in why we were so successful last year, us having those good connections, good bonds, and trusting each other.
You know, you talk about obviously that, like the connections and the transfer portal. I mean, obviously it's here to stay, but to have a core back and to be able to, like Coach always says, like sometimes you just have to say no. It could be a really great player, but it might not fit the team, the chemistry of the team, the build of the team. But the guys that have come in, how fun is it for you to kind of like bring them into this like Sun Devil culture that Coach Dillingham and the staff are building, but just to play off them and just hear different things? And how do you feel that they've all adjusted?
It's cool seeing like the new guys come in, just coming from everybody coming from different schools, different environments. It's cool just seeing how well they adjusted. Like I feel like the new guys, they've done a great job adjusting, and they did it pretty fast. I feel like just seeing, with us having a lot of returners coming back, I feel like it was easy for us to lead, and then they just, got to adapt to the culture, and I feel like they adjusted pretty well. I think things are going pretty good.
Absolutely. And I know I've said this to you before, and I say it to Coach Ward. I mean, obviously the more you're in the system and install gets, you're understanding more of the why everybody's doing. I know Coach Ward, obviously Coach Carrington, they're all big on that. You can be doing something, but why you're doing it, when you guys get to that, it's a whole new level. But do you feel that, I mean, now that with the experience and the depth coming back, that it almost makes it, and I use the word easy very lightly, but easier for Coach Ward to call the defenses just because of your guys' experience and just the chemistry that you guys have built?
Yeah, I feel like he's probably like more comfortable making certain calls, just knowing like the experience that a lot of the guys have, just being in the system for 2 years, a year plus, just being in the system I feel like it gives him a lot of comfort and a lot of like flexibility and a lot of calls. So he gonna be real flexible with his calls this year.
Yeah, well, on the way in, I also forgot to, man, I got to give you all your accolades, like I said, breaking records, but you're an honors student in the Barrett College, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. See, that's why I said opening the show, I'm like, yeah, the old days of, all athletes, quote unquote, being dumb jocks, I said, it's been over for a while. So,
yeah,
because I know Coach Dillingham talked about it last year. Let me ask you this, being an honors student, every now and then, like I've always said, like, having friends that have went to Ivy League schools and unfortunately had friends that, went to Stanford. If you're talking trash to a guy, instead of like maybe just kind of talking trash, you ever bust out some, I don't know, like maybe some calculus or some chemistry, just start saying something to him? Because I got to think the looks on their face. I always said to my friends in the Ivy League, I go, man, if I was there, I'm not dumb, but I would start talking about some kind of physics, some kind of calculus.
Yeah.
You're talking trash to them about that. There is no way they can focus on what they're doing.
Nah, I ain't never pulled that trick out the bag. I ain't never did that. But that's funny though. That probably would catch somebody off guard. They'll probably just be like, "What?"
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously you got a lot to concentrate on out there, but yeah, just absolutely hilarious. When and let's talk about that, because last year coming into Camp T, I mean, into fall camp, I should say, but the spring ball last year, but then even into fall camp, people saw obviously the secondary, like, wow, man, they're coming back. There's depth there, there's experience there. The defensive line, I know some guys came in, but guys that were back, guys that are, they're coming, you're like, okay, the defensive line. The linebackers, not that you guys knew what you had in the building. The talent was there, and they were kind of the question, though. How do you feel the growth of the linebackers? Because they may have been the question, but obviously the first touchdown of the season was answered by the linebacker saying, hey, we can play too. But how do you feel that the growth of the linebackers catapulted your defense last season?
I feel like they were, at least in the building, like to the team. I feel like they weren't the question. I feel like we knew what we had in that room. We see those guys. Crook, Keyshawn, Zaris. I can keep going, but we see those guys come to work every day. So I feel like none of us were shocked about their performance, and they're kind of like, besides the DBs, I feel like they bring a lot of energy to the field too as well. Just Crook having a lot of juice. Just seeing everybody, all of them make plays. I feel like, I mean, their growth was great this year. Just Desire starting the season off pick six. Like it's great seeing, being able to play with those guys, because they just bring a lot of energy and a lot of accountability, and they play real hard, play real fast. So I feel like they play a huge part, like a key part to just the defense. The defense energy. I feel like we vibe, we all feed off each other. So them bringing the energy that they do, us bringing the energy, and the D linemen bringing their energy, I feel like it just meshes pretty well. So yeah, their growth has been great though, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And look, I know offense is important. I said this to you, and I always say it to Coach Ward. Like, I'm one of the last few that understands. I shouldn't say understands, but that is a defensive person. Like, you can have a game, as much as I know you want your offense to score, but you could have a 14-10, a 17-13 game that is a really great game. Just because there's not 1,000 points doesn't mean it's not a great game. But let me ask you, like, someone on defense last year too, because he had been through a lot and he stayed, but he worked hard. And I know, what is it? I don't know if it was 1 or 2 picks in the Utah game, but Caleb McCullough, somebody like a linebacker like him last year, for somebody that, and again, obviously in sports, yeah, winning is great. The fan base, I mean, you guys are all charged up last year, but to kind of go through the ebbs and flows, and for him, 2 straight down seasons. And I remember Coach Dillingham and even Coach Cooper saying, when they came in, they're like, man, just stay. But to see like how he grew last year and the success he had, and getting to go out on that note, how awesome is that for just you guys as his teammates to see that work ethic that he had and how it paid off?
No, it's good. It's great seeing stuff like that. Just seeing that, like, Caleb could have easily left or easily transferred, but he trusted the process. He trusted the coaches, and he just came to work. That's somebody who came to work every day. He doesn't really talk much like off the field, but you can feel his energy on the field. He just came to work every day. Didn't make no excuses, didn't complain, and you could just see like all his hard work. It paid off this year. He made a lot of impact plays for us, huge impact plays for us, and it's just great seeing people like that. Get the outcome that they deserve.
And playing next to somebody too, like obviously, Shamari. I mean, the how even from 2 years ago, 3-9, he's got. I remember seeing it. I remember seeing Coach Ward before the game, and he had like messed up his elbow in practice, and 2.5 days later, he just got it like whatever, all covered up, and he's out there on the field playing, and they're saying he's a warrior, but playing with somebody like that, I mean, obviously he's playing the nickel, but when you're a defensive back, again, not giving away too many of your trade secrets, but how does that free you up to maybe take some chances when you're playing next to somebody like a Shamari? I mean, obviously like an X, like a Miles, but when Shamari's right there with you guys.
It's good. Just like I said, we all trust each other. So I feel like as a DB group, you gotta have each other back. So knowing that Shamari gonna be a dog. X, you got X Ghost, and then Javen. We just all had each other back on the field. So I mean, I wouldn't just say gambling, but you could just you could trust your eyes, trust what you see, and just you want to play fast out there. So it's good just having people like Shamari in the room with you, and just all the energy that he brings. He be hitting people. Like Shamari play real aggressive with people, so it's just easy. It's easy to feed off energy like that. I feel like football is a game where it's energy, and when you have a lot of people that bring make big plays or play with a lot of aggression and passion, I feel like it's easy for everybody else to play with that same passion and aggression.
And you guys have obviously said, I mean, defensive backs, Keith, all the time, and obviously complimentary football, but, a great pass rush obviously makes your guys' job. Again, people use the word easy, and I hate saying it, but it makes your job at least a teeny bit easier if those guys are getting there, because anybody, I mean, I don't care. I've always said, and I remember a lot of defensive back coaches saying, I don't care if you have all the speed in the world, you can cover for 15 seconds. You don't want to need to cover for 15 seconds. I mean, that's exaggerated, but you know what I'm saying. But like CJ last year was funny because I said to CJ, I was like, man, I go, I saw you kind of shaking your head on the sidelines because another ball went Keith's way. I go, are they going to, he goes, yeah. He goes, no, he goes, I don't understand why they do. He goes, but yeah, let them keep trying to quote unquote pick on Keith because they're not going to keep possession of the ball too much. But when you're getting lots of targets, how do you view it? Do you have that chip on your shoulders at DB? Like, oh, they don't respect me? Or you're like, just keep sending them over?
That's true. I want as many targets as I can get. Cause like, especially early in the season with just being young, not having that college experience, the teams was like trying to try us, but once I started catching picks and stuff like that, it was the targets just went up. They just kept going down and down and down, and teams stay away from it. So I'll take as many targets as I can get because I like to make teams pay.
Yeah, I put a very, because obviously my pitchfork lunch show again started last year. So glad you jumped in. I remember during the game when you had a pick, I put a pretty sarcastic tweet out. I go, man, people just need to. I go, yeah, I would pick on Keith Abney too, because I mean, he's gonna drop mostly all of those. Please, just keep throwing over there. And I added the other schools and stuff. So I was trying to get you more traffic in the reverse psychology way.
Yeah.
I think you actually ended up liking that because I'm like, I get it. A receiver is primary and a quarterback is, you got to have that confidence and that ego. Like, I'm going to get the ball there. But yeah, I remember putting that out and a lot of people were like, why are you picking on Keith? I go, I know in Twitter you can't get sarcasm, but if you've read any of my other stuff, you would know I'm completely sarcastic. I'm like, if you think he's the weak link, like CJ said, yes, please keep throwing over there.
Keep throwing. Keep throwing.
Yeah. Hey, the more turnovers. I know Coach Ward, like I said, puts that, and he was even I know X said the other day that he's like after the Fan Fest, he's like, yeah, we want to double the amount of turnovers, takeaways we had last year. And Chris even said to me, he goes, okay, he goes, is that a feasible target? He goes, you do your job. And he said the perfect thing. That's what I'm going to say to you. If you're doing your job and to your point, like I said before, not really gambling, not really like, floating or being somewhere you shouldn't. He goes, we do our job. We can double our turnovers. We have the confidence in that.
Yeah, that's like one of the big things like Coach Ward has been preaching, and I agree with him 100%. Like the way our defensive system is, like you don't have to be out there pick hunting. You don't have to play hunt. Coach Ward puts us in positions where the plays come to us. So. And I feel like last year we did leave a lot of, interceptions or fumbles on the, on the table. So I feel like it's definitely a reachable goal to try to double our turnovers from last year for sure.
All right. Speaking of a reachable goal, one of your fellow defensive mates will always let everybody know, and he, as he did almost 2 seasons ago now, directed me to his recruiting tape, his highlight film from high school. Mr. Clayton Smith, who can get to quarterbacks, had some pretty sick he got the fake punt last year. Him and Canyon hooked up on that.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, in spring ball, he had the heck of the catch in the main event, and then he goes to work with the receivers. Are you worried about losing Clayton to the offense now, Keith?
I mean, I don't know if he can help us win games on offense, but as long as we still gonna need him on defense for that pass rush because he gonna make a lot of sacks for us this year. So long as he's still with us and y'all can have him for a little bit, but he know where his heart belongs.
So you might be for a limited Clayton red zone package because that wouldn't be too taxing.
Yes. A red zone package, yeah, I can see. Yeah, that'd be cool. Long as they not taking him just permanently from us, but we go, yeah.
Yeah, Coach Ward said, well, whatever the boss man wants, we'll do. But yeah, even Coach Mons was like, yeah, look, we know he could do it. He's an athlete, he's talented, but he's doing really good where he's at. Coach Reynolds is happy to have him over there, as I know, like you said, you guys are as a defense. And speaking of Clayton, Camp T, I never asked you this. So obviously he's a big snake guy. You being from Texas, like if he says, hey, man, Keith, you want to go search for some snakes? Because I know most of the people turned him down. Oh, you're already saying no, not happening.
No, I'm gonna stay away from the snakes. I don't do the snakes. I don't do the snakes, man.
Yeah, he told me he can't get too many people to go with him. He said there's a few that have been like, all right, but he's like, yeah, most of them are like, he goes, yeah, big tough guys. He goes like I'm gonna let them get hurt. I go, hey man, snakes just give people that like the bigger like they might not be poisonous. And I'm with you, Keith. It doesn't matter if they're that big. It's like, cool, man, you're big. You hang out there. I'm good over here.
I'll watch them afar.
Yep, I am all for that. All right, so the off. I mean, I know I always say like off season, but after spring ball, I know you guys got a little bit of time. So, I mean, after are you done with finals next week?
I'll be done with all my classes this week.
Okay,
I got like
cool.
a couple more assignments left, then I'll be pretty much done.
Nice. So what is the little bit of break you have? Where are you going back to Texas for a little while? What are you doing before obviously getting back here for the summer and then charging into fall camp and beautiful Camp T?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna just go back home. I haven't been home in a minute, so I'll probably go home, just catch up with my family, see my family. My mom she just got her PhD, so she having a graduation. I forgot where it's at. I think we're gonna probably go there. We're gonna go to her graduation, stuff like that. So it's gonna be cool just going home, catching up with my family and stuff like that.
Hey, like I used to have coaches say, a little bit of workout, a little bit of relax, just get away because it actually helps you focus more in the end. Wow, mom got a PhD, so she probably reminds you where you inherited your smarts from, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, Keith, man, I really appreciate it, and we'll definitely. I look forward to you getting a break, obviously, and fall camp, and we'll catch up. Oh, with Camp T. Another thing, the whole Tempe to the Texas to Tempe. I hope I can get you on board with this because CJ's dog Tank. I don't know if you've seen pictures. Tank's kind of a badass, and I keep teasing his dad because they haven't brought Tank out here yet. So we're trying to get Tank to Tempe, but we're also trying to get Tank to Camp T so I can do a sit down with CJ and Tank. So hopefully you can help with that. You can help with that that initiative.
I'll try to help you out. I'll try to help you out. Try to convince them.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Keith, again, look, thank you so much. Again, so stoked to see, obviously, like I said, what you guys have done, and very excited, like I said, for my favorite side of the ball. You guys on defense, man. Thanks for jumping in.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That
yes,
is
sir. Go Devils.
Absolutely. There he is, Keith Abney the second. Phenomenal. Again, Barrett Honors College. I know I should have led with that, Pitchfork Lunchers. I know. But, again, absolutely awesome to talk to him. Again, he again, just phenomenal seeing, like I said, the interceptions. And yes, the tweet was sarcastic last year if you saw it. And I got more traction. So finally I just posted, I go, guys, sarcasm. Like it's off of what, CJ Fight, I had interviewed him and what CJ had said. So again, awesome to have Keith on right there. We're going to aim to have Kyson Brown on tomorrow. Offense, defense, offense. I'm fair. You guys know this. We're going to aim to have Kyson Brown on tomorrow as well. So yes, that was Keith Abney the second. Yeah, but you heard him. I mean, look, this defense, they trust each other. The depth, I mean, again, I want to talk fun, but Camp T, Barrett Honors College. See, again, you get to know Sun Devils here, guys, on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, they're sport, as we get some loud background music coming by, but that's pretty cool on the bicycle there. Anyway, but yes, I'm outdoors, taking it on the road. But yes, so again, Keith Abney the second, so stoked he jumped on. Been wanting to get him on for a minute, and we did that. So yeah, we are rolling on, and we're gonna finish up today. I promised you. We're gonna hear from Willie Bloomquist again as the Devils get set to take on Long Beach State, pardon me, sorry. I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? Who? Baseball, football? What are we talking about? NAU is the opening game, by the way. The Harvard of the Pines, Northern Arizona University, is the season and home opener for football. Yeah, so Long Beach State, 6:30 p.m. tonight. But we are going to hear, I promise you, this is Coach Bloomquist after the win the other day. So we're going to hear a good amount of it. And that's going to, as we before we get out of here for Pitchfork Lunch. Again, awesome show today. But here is Coach Bloomquist.
That was pretty impressive all the way through. Guys came and finished the job today, which I was obviously excited about. Yeah, they swung the bats as good as they have all year long today. So that was nice to see.
Take us through your emotions in that second inning, just seeing the offense explode for 10 runs.
Emotions, I mean, I don't know. I just was kind of trying to manage the game. I mean, they just kept hitting them out of the ballpark. There wasn't much to manage. So just let them go and keep getting pitches to hit and stay on them and keep the foot on the gas. I don't ever remember seeing, was it six? Six in one inning. I don't think I've ever been a part of something like that. And same guys going back to back in the same inning. That was pretty impressive.
Going with Barrett instead of Jaden today, was there anything behind that, or you just wanted Jaden to come out of the bullpen?
Yeah, we think about these things and try to figure out the best matchup. There are better hitters at the top of the lineup, or usually go left, and then the switch hitter right and then left, and those four have been, they're better hitters. We just figured if we could turn Robinson around right-handed, we feel he's a little bit better hitter left-handed, and we just kind of worked backwards, knowing that we had Carlone for at least two and Lucas Kelly for at least two if we needed. We figured if we could just get through 4 or 5 with those two guys, then we should be good, at least to get us to the finish line. So first guy out, we wanted Barrett to face their lefties, and we just thought that was a better matchup at the top of the lineup, and hopefully he can kind of get through them twice, and then we go to Alba in the middle part of the lineup for that, the bottom and then the top, and see if we can get through 5 with those two and then go from there. So that was kind of the thought. It wasn't that Jaden lost the job on Sunday or anything. We just liked that matchup a little bit better against these guys.
What have you seen from Easton's growth from when he first took the field as a true freshman to now with just a month left in the season? He's getting stronger as the season's going on. And this was on fairly short rest, and that was the other point that I was going to make, is we knew Easton wasn't going to go long based on him starting on Tuesday, and had 55, 60 pitches. So it was kind of more of an opener type deal, but he's progressively getting better and better and stronger throughout the season. The velocity is picking up. Just the overall bite on his breaking ball, you can just tell from the side, has gotten better.
Arm speed's better. He's just kind of looking a lot more comfortable out there.
Obviously, Carlon was a guy you looked to most out of the bullpen, but how have you just seen the guys behind him pick up their play here recently?
Like meaning defensively?
Yeah.
You know, the guys he's throwing with a tremendous amount of confidence right now, and when he comes in the game, everyone gets excited because he's been dealing, and it's fun to play defense behind that, even though they haven't really touched the ball because he's punching a lot of tickets right now. So, but yeah, he's just, his momentum right now is contagious, and hopefully that spills over into some of those other guys down in the pen. Lucas Kelly's been throwing the heck out of it. So between those two back end arms, that's great. Shafe's been throwing the ball well. We can just spill into those middle inning guys to bridge the gap to them. That would be nice down the stretch.
Coach, sweeping a team is always extremely difficult, but what does it mean to do that at the end of April?
You know, we're not going to complain about it. You know, we just got to keep piling up wins, and for us, it's you know, taking one at a time. And just really the emphasis for our guys has been showing up ready to play every day, and come with your A game. Even though we took the first two, job's not finished. We got to come and win today. All these wins are big. So as long as we can continue to take that approach and that mindset, and just can keep winning games down the stretch here, and more importantly, just get play to our abilities. You know, today was obviously an offensive outburst today, but it's nice to start seeing the bats heat up a little bit and get to where we think they're capable of. Not that I expect 8 home runs a night, but just starting to swing the bats the way the contact points are getting to where they're supposed to be, catching the ball out front a little bit more, swinging at good pitches, you know, not chasing below the zone as much today in the last few days. So as long as we can continue to work through those things and stay sharp on them, I like our chances.
Ian said earlier in the year they were playing not to lose, but now they've started to play to win. How have you just seen their mentality change throughout the course of the season?
They're taking on a little bit of a different mindset. That stays within our clubhouse. We know what's going on, and these guys are feeding off of it right now. So I'm not going to go into any further detail than that, but our boys are playing a little chip on their shoulder. So it's nice to see.
Have you thought about, you know, the point you are in the season? This is like where you guys got really hot last year, even though you didn't make the postseason. But have you thought about what that could do for this team to get really hot in the next bunch of days, given what happened last year and how you guys were able to really gain momentum at the end, the last couple series?
No, I think you get hot by focusing on winning pitches, winning one game at a time. You can't look ahead and say, oh yeah, anybody can mathematically draw this out and say, well, let's win this many. Okay, how are you going to win those many games? You have to show up and be ready to play every day. So it's back to the basics. It's not getting ahead of ourselves. Staying within what we're capable of doing, and just really, like I said, in my mind, just focusing on getting our guys to play to the best of their ability. If we do that, we're going to get hot. I mean, there's no question about it. And I've said it all year. If these guys can reach their full potential at the right time, it's going to be a fun last month.
Coach, to piggyback off that, when you look at, I mean, playing complementary, like obviously the offense hitting like it is tonight, but the pitcher's just getting out there and throwing, getting it right back to the offense. Have you been, how do you feel this team has this been one of the better teams you've been around that's been able to play that kind of complementary ball?
Well, I mean, that would be great if we could do that all the time, and you know, but that's how you keep momentum on your side, is when, you know, if our offense is swinging the bat good, go out and man, really got to have an emphasis on getting that first hitter out and try to roll the inning and get our offense back to work. So, you know, we've talked about it. We've talked about a lot of stuff, but yeah, that's one thing that's of importance for us. If we can continue to, you know, complement each other, knowing that it's a team, it's not always going to be perfect, but keep that momentum going to where our offense goes to work and stays at the bat rack for a while. It makes it a lot easier.
With all the pregame ceremonies and the alumni being here, usually on these days where they like to come in, you like to talk about how you guys represented the brand and represented the program. How do you feel the team did that today and overall this weekend?
I think they represented about as well as they could have tonight, offensively, especially. They came out swinging the bat. So hopefully our alumni were entertained.
Brody Briggs, 2 home runs tonight. I think he threw a runner out in the first inning. What is it meant to have his flexibility behind the plate, not only being able to give Cromwick a night off, or him being a lefty versus Cromwick being a righty, while playing plus defense, knowing he'll give you a productive night at the plate every night? What is it kind of meant to have that flexibility throughout?
Well, those two have nice internal competition, I think, going on. To where if you're swinging a stick, you're going to play. They both are playing great defense. They're both doing very good behind the plate. So for Briggsy's a kid that he wants to be in there every day, and Crom's a kid that wants to be in there every day. And I've told them both that I don't want you to be any different. You're supposed to want to play every day. That's called being competitive. At the same token, I'm going to ride the lineup that I think gives us the best chance to win that day. So you guys both need to be ready. And Briggsy has been chomping at the bit to get back in there, and made the most of his opportunity today. So, for me, it's, man, you want to be in there every day, show me. I don't write the lineup. You guys ultimately do based on your performance. So with his performance tonight, he'll probably be back in there Tuesday.
Matt King and Kyle Walker had seen their chemistry translate from the middle infield with their plays on defense to the batter's box, with them being 1 and 2 right behind each other. How have you just seen their relationship grow from when they first came here, coming from different schools, both transfers, to now being that middle infield that you can always count on?
Those two have been, their personalities are polar opposite, but they match so well in the middle. You got Walker, who's the Energizer bunny that just doesn't stop chattering and talking and always upbeat and energetic, and Matty's kind of more laid back and stone-faced and serious about stuff, but they are both leaders, which is really unique in how their styles of leadership are. And those two have just really gravitated toward each other on, kind of being that middle infield combo. And, both being first-year guys in our program have really stepped in and taken over big leadership roles as the season's gone on. And I've told them, hey man, if you guys got to do it, step up and take it over. We're waiting on our guys that have been around here 3 or 4 years to take the bull by the horns. I'm not saying they're not doing it, but if they aren't going to step up completely, then you guys do it, right? We need leaders in this clubhouse. We need guys to be vocal. We need guys that are okay with calling each other. What's up, bud? Calling each other out and being okay with holding each other accountable. So for me, that's important that those guys do that, and they're playing well together in the middle, and they're both doing, offensively, they're doing their thing as well.
Coach,
Sorry,
in the
cameo, Eddie showed up.
Coach, in the 9th inning, even in a 9-run game, it felt like everyone was at the top step of the dugout. Kean was locked in on his at-bats in the box. Do you also attribute that to the mindset and how that's kind of grown over time?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was at stake. If we scored there in the 8th, that it was, the 10-run rule was in effect. And but for me, again, most importantly is that they stay locked in throughout an entire game and stick with their approach, whether or not 10-run rule is in effect or not. It's just, that's how you play the game of baseball. You have to be locked in mentally and not give away at bats. So it's been a work in progress, but tonight was this weekend was a big step in the right direction.
And there he was, Willie Bloomquist, again, after the 6 home run in an inning game, program record, 8 for a game, another program record, all done in the first 2 innings. 8-9 hole go back-to-back, not once, but twice. Insane. But yeah, that's what he's talking about. And like I said, the pitching, that's why I asked him. I mean, complimentary baseball, I'm not going to say, oh, it's your best team here, but like the pitching, again, has been building and consent. Yeah, an inning here, an inning there. You're obviously playing fellow talented baseball teams and players. But nonetheless, that is Coach Bloomquist after the win. Long Beach State tonight, 6:30 at Phoenix Community. Tomorrow night at 6:30 as well. Yes, tonight, tomorrow night. So tonight, you hear it on AM 1060. And tomorrow night as well, I'll remind you again. But I don't see ESPN Plus, so I don't know. Check it. It's not listed on the sundevils.com on the baseball page, but it might be on ESPN Plus. I do not know. But yeah, Long Beach State, 6:30 tonight, 6:30 tomorrow night at Phoenix Muni. Get on out there and support them. So, man, that'll do it. Again, big ups, big shout out to Keith Abney Jr. for coming on the show. Absolute forks up to Keith for coming on the show, starting corner for the Devils. Barrett Honors College student, and his mom now getting a PhD. See, you learn this stuff on Pitchfork Lunch. But big shout out to Keith Abney Jr. for coming on. Again, everybody enjoy the rest of your Taco Tuesday. Make it a little spicy. I don't know, maybe some jalapenos in there, little sriracha on top, maybe Frank's Red Hot. I don't know, whatever you like. But a little spicy tacos. Enjoy your Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, and hashtag our state. Thank you to reigning Big 12 champs women's volleyball for always reminding me of that, because it is hashtag our state. And you guys know it. Go Devils, of course. But as always, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Bubba will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great play.
That's away. Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down. He scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get him. Wow. Edwards pulls up and buries a flag. Shot for Derby!
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Bubba will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great play.
That's away. Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down. He scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get him. Wow. Edwards pulls